Okay, everyone, I have a crazy theory that I don't think is actually that crazy or far-fetched, even slightly. I think it's somehow very truthful, just not sure how it's going to exactly play out. But I think next season, everyone thinks right now next season is going to be about the 15th wish, the missing wish, and I think that's accurate. But I think Savathun is either a time traveler, like uh, Elsie Blurray, which is the stranger on Europa, or she's seen into the future through Vex Tech, which I'm pretty sure they've experimented with Vex Tech. I'm pretty sure there's logs of them because obviously Quoria existed and stuff. So there's obviously Vex Tech been experimented with. So I think, in theory, that Savathun has seen all this happen. Everything that's happened. And here's why. So this season alone, she set up the Tithes. The Tithes were, well, she set up all the powerful enemies. She basically, if you don't know, for the season, inside of her throne world, she hid these powerful beings she experimented with the light. She gave Hive more power and stuff, made them stronger and better. She experimented with them to see what it does, because she's a scientist, that's what she does. She just is what is. Well, we know the Witness walks through the portal with no issue at all. He walks through. We've sent people through, and they end up fused together. So in theory, the reason that happens is because you don't have enough power pushing back against the power of the portal, so that way it doesn't smush you. If you have enough power, then it won't smush you, right? So in theory, then, that's what all this season was about. Getting the power to be able to do it. So we got the Tithes, we killed for Eris. Eris then gave us the power back, because that's the Hive Gods. We got power, she got power. When she killed Savathun, in theory, that means we should have gotten a ton of power off her as well. Which means now we're stronger. We also know Eris told the other power to vanquish, to disappear. She didn't want it. Technically, that means she could still have Savathun's power because she specifically said the power we got for her, not Savathun. So that's a different story, though. We'll get to that another day. So in theory, we're more powerful now, right? We got Savathun's power. We've also got the power of those Hive. We're more powerful than ever. So I'm sitting here thinking, what happened? How did Savathun predict this, right? I mean, it's a pretty obvious prediction. I mean, if you do think about it, it's a pretty decent prediction. It's not like it's that hard. I stopped and I thought for a second. I realized something. This means Savathun has either been seeing the future through Vex Tech, which we know Vex Tech can do, and she didn't like it, and that's why she's altering it. She has currently can still see through Vex Tech. She's got something hidden somewhere. She lets her see through things, or she's like Anna, and somehow she created some sort of spell or something in the past or in the future that brought her back to the past so she could redo it because she didn't like the outcome. I say this because of how everything's playing out. So next season, people believe it's about the wish and stuff because of in-game there's stuff that talks about wishes and stuff and talks about different things. It's with the cards and stuff on the table inside the helm. If you see it, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, well, I'll try to show it in the video. But in theory, why would she do all this? But then how far back did this start where she was thinking of doing this? So we know during the Witness's first attack, she did something to the Witness to distract him and to leave the Traveler alone. Hence why I left. Probably the Veil, probably teased the Veil somewhere else or something. She teased him with something, he went for it. He fell for it, right? So there's that. But then you stop and you think, and you wonder, what was all of this season about? Because this season felt pretty useless. It really did. And I stopped to think about it, and I'm like, hold on a second. So, according to Savathun, according to what we know, Savathun created the wish with the Amarkara, Riven, in the last wish. Whenever we killed Riven, she would then grant that wish through death, and would put a 3-week cycle curse on the Dreaming City that has happened since it started, has been non-stop, and has grown in power. We know it's grown in power because if it stayed the exact amount of power, then obviously the worm wouldn't have been distracted by it, because that's what happened. The worm kept eating this power because it was infinitely growing. Every 3 weeks got more and more powerful. It reset to even more power. It stuck everyone in a loop, gained more power off it, kept the worm busy feeding, because the more the worm feeds, the more powerful it gets, and the more power needs to go to it to distract it. So it kept eating, and eating, and eating, and eating, and eating, and eating. So it was distracted. So Savathun could then do what she did to separate herself from the light, or from the hive, and become a light bearer, which it all worked according to her plan, which was awesome and all. Great thing. But think about what's going on then in the Dreaming City. That means so if you don't know, we put the worm inside of a gun. It's a grenade launcher. It's called the parasite, I believe. We put the worm in there. The Savathun's worm is trapped inside the parasite. So he's no longer gaining power. The worm's no longer gaining anything. He's stuck. If he was gaining power, he'd have been able to break out by now. So he's not gaining power. If he is still gaining power, it's not as much because, again, he's not breaking out. So that means we have a gun that has an insane amount of power. But the power that went to that worm is no longer going to the worm. That power is now stuck forever inside the Dreaming City. Which means that is an infinite battery source that is infinitely growing in power and gets stronger and stronger every week. We have this season that has the tithes, which gives us more power every time we kill the hive. It also gives Eris power. But then Savathun was killed, I guarantee you we got power from her because of how the tithes work. So if we have that power, and then we add on the power for the Dreaming City, we should be able to walk through the portal in a sense. Because if you stop and think, if the power has infinitely been growing, and it's been years since, it's been like 2 years, right? 2 years since that happened. Since we broke her from the thing. Or nearly that. And it is, even if the time doesn't match perfectly in game, like, it's been a long time since that's happened. It happens all the time for all 3 weeks. That's a lot of weeks of increasing in power. Insanely increasing, too. We know it'd have to be a massive amount to keep the worm busy. So that power is going to keep growing and growing and expanding and being stuck there because it can't go anywhere because nothing's eating it or using it. In comes the 15th wish. The ability to bind that curse to us, to absorb all of that power, and then we become one with it. We gained all the power from this season. We gained all the power from that for next season. We will become powerful enough to walk through the portal and it won't crush us. It gives us the power to walk through the portal. But why would Savathun do this? Why would she give us the ability to do it? Why would not do it herself? She's a genius, right? She's supposed to be intelligent, like insanely intelligent. Why would she not do this herself or give it to somebody else? Why specifically us? She targeted us. Why? The only comprehensible way is either just by chance ended up being us because of everything we've done, which I don't believe in because this game is literally talking about all the time how there's no such thing as that stuff. It's not by luck or chance, it's because everything's like an order of pattern or whatever, and it all works out a certain way because it's supposed to, or, basically the whole God system theory. So we were supposed to be paracausal, we were supposed to defeat the Black Heart, we were supposed to do this, supposed to be able to control stasis, and then because that's where it started, we gained the power of darkness, and then Strand now and is increased. So in theory, this means either Savathun is intelligently more smart than we thought, which I don't believe, because if Eris can outplay her and think on her level as well, then she's not that intelligent. Because I highly doubt a being that's been around for millions of years and a human would be able to be on the same level of intelligence. If you're that smart, you can predict the future that well. You can predict all the options, but to be able to so accurately pick everything, and that means the distraction of the Dreaming City for the worm was not actually for the worm. It was a byproduct. It was something that was needed to split from the worm, but she knew the worm would not feed on it forever, which means once she disconnected, the worm would no longer draw on the power, which means the power would be infinitely increasing. She experimented with her hive to make them stronger, which makes sense because that's what she would want to do, but she specifically kept it a secret and kept it even away from herself, where she could be drawing more power off it and becoming even more powerful than she was. She didn't. She stored them up, kept them in like a literal battery case where we go fight them and gain power off of. Then she got killed. Gained power off her. Why would she be doing this? Unless she knew exactly what would happen. Which means Savathun has either peered into the future through Vextech and has decided she wants a specific future to happen, so she's making it happen, or she's did some sort of magical hive spell in the future with enough power where she could actually come back in time, and all the knowledge she gained is what she's using, so that way she can change and alter things to work in her favor. And now some people say, well, if she's changing and altering it, then how does she know things? Because no matter what, certain things would always stay the same, and certain things would happen. But if you did it multiple times and constantly did it just like the stranger has done it, then technically, that's why everything still goes in a certain order. Because she knows what's going to happen, because she makes sure it's going to happen in that order, so that way it gains the power, so we can walk through the portal, defeat the witness, and win the war. Which then lets her be free to do whatever she wants, not constricted by anything other than herself, and she can be whatever she wants. Whether it be leaving us be or not, I don't know. Obviously, it's her own grand plan. But that means she's either a time traveler, like Anna, or she's peered into a future and peered into so many futures through the Vex tech that she's found a future she wanted and she made happen. Because we failed in all the other ones. But in this one, we're succeeding. And it all starts with the fact that if you stop and think, okay, well, what about... Some people will say, well, what about all the other realities? Because the witness left, right? Obviously, Savathun had to do it. We don't know that. Savathun could have just had something to do with this realities. We don't know what caused the witness to leave in the previous realities. We have no clue. No one knows. We assume it might be Savathun, but it could have been nothing to do with her. She could have done it this time. She could have, for all we know, it could have been a lot longer war back then than it was now. In this reality, it could have been shorter by a massive amount. We don't know. But even if let's say it's true, she did do it in all realities, why is it that they failed all the time, but this one didn't? Because, again, she's been traveling every time and getting farther and farther along and closer to the optimal goal she wants, whatever it is, which I assume is so she can live and do whatever she wants and not be constricted by any other power. But could be more to it, could be that simple, who knows, it's Savathun, right? Lore-wise, who knows what she's thinking. But that's what I'm saying is, all of this has been set up for us to succeed against the witness. She did everything she did from the moment she got rid of the witness the first time, when we weren't alive, when none of us existed, and got rid of the witness from the first war, for him to come back, for now to set up the ability for us to gain even more power, to use that power, to now walk through a portal that can't be walked through because we get squished and fused to other atoms and become little dead balls of metal and skin and whatever else. It's grotesque. AF of what happens in the lore to people that try to go through the portal. But she sets all this up to gain the power, to give us the ability to gain the power, to now walk through the portal and literally be able to live. And then witness what the witness is doing, to then defeat the witness, to become the ones over the witness. Make the witness no longer a threat. I mean, Savathun has always been the hero. Savathun is the hero of this story. Not the Guardian. The Guardian is just a puppet. We are just a puppet of Savathun's army. This is why I believe for a fact Savathun had something to do with the Black Heart success. She had something to do with the Oryx success. She had something to do with all of this. I think the essences on his ship was planted... I know this is conspiracy. I believe she planted those essences on the ship so we could defeat Oryx easily, so that way we could then kill him, and then move to the next step. And the next step, and the next step, which everything we've defeated one way or another. But according to other realities, several things we failed in, then there were times we succeeded in, but then we failed in later on things. Other things happened. Eris became the Witch Queen, not Savathun. Well, Savathun was, but she got replaced by Eris. Savathun worked under Eris, because Eris became the most powerful hive. All this happened constantly. But yet we've constantly changed the thing. The Traveler left in that reality as well, and we had to go hunt it down with the Leviathan. Same thing has happened now, except the Traveler didn't get to leave because we prevented it. How, I wonder? What if everything was to do with Savathun? What if Savathun has been pulling at the strings in the background all this time from the moment we rose in as a Guardian? It's why the witness can affect our ghost so effectively. It's because she's tampered with our ghost to allow us to gain power, to allow us to accomplish the impossible, to continue on forward. And then the witness realized that we were connected to him somehow because it was his power. Because Savathun did it, which allowed him to open the portal easier, which allowed him to get in, but then also allows us to gain more power, and that way we don't fry our ghost or something, because that's what's happened to others that have gone to the Hive side of Guardians. They lose their ghosts and stuff. They become corrupted by the Hive. I think it's because the power is too great for the ghosts to be able to withstand, and so it ends up killing the ghost, or it turns them on their ghost and they kill it, something like that. But yeah, so in theory, Savathun is the true hero of this story. She has protected us. She has slaughtered everything in our way, allowed us to slaughter, given us ways into things and do things that no one else had done before from any other reality, just so we could beat the witness and we can win the war. I'm wondering, is that what next season is going to be about? Is finding out we have to absorb that power, and then finding out Savathun is the hero and the villain of the entire arc because her power trumps our power because she knows it all. She lets us gain this power so we can defeat the witness, but then she's above us in a sense because she knows what she's doing. She knows what we can do. So is Savathun going to become the true big bad after The Witness is defeated. We think that Hive chapter that they're adding is going to be about Zivu. What if it's about Savathun? Because she's truly the bad guy, but also the hero. She's literally doing the hero's job, but she's also doing the villain's job in the background because she's dictating and controlling everything. But she's also giving us the power and keeping us alive, keeping us the ability to do things that we shouldn't be able to do, so that way she can win. And the Witness fails, so then she can become on top and be in charge of everything. And we're sitting down here thinking we're in charge of everything, and we're the ones determining our future, but we're her little puppet this entire time. She picked us to fight this war for her. That is why she gave us a bargain. It's why she walks away. It's why she makes a bargain with the Vanguard, saying, oh, I'll give you my ghost, and then I'll leave, and I won't bother you again. Because she's not bargaining. She's holding all the cards. She has all the knowledge, all the power. She has everything. She knows the outcome because she's making the outcome come true. Which in theory means Savathun is insanely fucking crazy. Way more powerful, way more brilliant, way more incredible than anyone could have thought. Savathun is the true powerhouse of this story. And that blows my mind. It means we've all been wrong. Witness ain't the big bad, it's Savathun. She's the big bad and the big good at the same time. She's genius. She's using knowledge to gain higher knowledge, to gain higher knowledge, to gain above us, to give us the power to think we're in control, we're powerful, we can defeat this, and all the time we're just being her little puppets. That's a theory in my book, and that's a heck of a good theory, I think. Some might disagree, some might not. Who knows? If you stop and think, this season is insane. That's all I'm saying. This season is absolutely insane. Because the gameplay was okay, the lore didn't seem that good, but now you think about it, all of this was to be done for a specific reason, and the Witness is about to get his mind blown at how far his subordinates, holy cow, English is hard, but how his lackeys have outplayed him. He's gonna get his mind blown. That's all I'm saying. Bet you didn't see that. She's the true hero and the true villain of this story. Not us, not the Witness. It's all a sham. Bet you that's gonna blow your mind. Woo! Crazy conspiracy. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. Send me a comment what you think. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day. 17 minutes. God damn!